Hey there, friends. Today I wanted to start with a question. Have you ever felt isolated, perhaps lacking drive or a sense of purpose? Maybe you just felt like you were misunderstood. Well, if that's the case, you might be like one of the nearly 58 million Americans, me included, who are dealing with a mental health disorder, at least on some level or another. Well, I believe that the cure, at least in large part, for many of these symptoms, can be found in community. And that's what we're going to talk about today. I recently read this journal from the National Library of Medicine, and it was released in June of 2023, and it was examining the last few years of depression, anxiety, and stress among the American population. And it was directly trying to see the connection between a sense of community and our ability to live a happy life and cope with our mental health disorders. And what it found was those with a strong sense of community were actually far less likely to deal with these symptoms than those without. In fact, those that had a neutral or negative sense of community were 2 to 5 times more likely to experience severe symptoms of depression and anxiety, which makes a lot of sense. When you're alone, you have no one to lean on. And that's why it's so important to reach out and build community or join a community. But what is community? Community can give you a sense of belonging, something bigger than yourself. The idea that you are involved with a group of people that share your values, care about the same things, are working towards the same goals, it gives you that sense that you're a part of something. And that can be incredibly powerful. It also can be a tool for support. It can give you the resources you need when you're not okay. And with that sense of belonging, you can also find that sense of purpose. Because if you're involved in a group that gives you that engagement, that gives you that belonging, you can find a purpose in your life where maybe you're lacking one. Especially for those of us who don't have a more structured ideology, religion, or background that gives us that purpose in the way that many do experience through very traditional communities like church. But for many of us, that's not an option. And people that give you that sense of belonging, that sense of purpose, they can also provide for you an incredible support network for when you need it most. Whether that is emotional support, financial support, you need somewhere to stay, you need something to eat, you just need someone to hug, you need someone to tell that you're not okay. And maybe you can't get professional resources. I hope you can, but if you can't, it's nice to have a community of people that you can reach out to, that you can say, help me, I'm not okay. And that's why it's so important to be involved in community, because those that are so much more capable of pushing through the difficulties they're facing in life. But those who stay isolated, those that stay alone, are far more likely to experience a compounding depression and anxiety that could get away from them. And that's what leads people to truly dark and tragic things like self-harm and suicide. So it's important to reach out and build these communities. But how do you find a community? That's a difficult thing sometimes. Now, if you have a thing like school, it makes it super easy. It's actually probably a reason why, as far as age groups, younger people are far less likely to lack that sense of community, because they do have things like schools and clubs and organizations that do put like-minded individuals together. But as we get a little bit older and we get wrapped up in our jobs and our families, we often find that that sense of community starts to dwindle if it's not maintained. So how do you reach out and find new community? How do you create something? Well, you can look at things like your common interests. I like D&D. Find a D&D group. I like to go on hikes. Join a hiking group. There are so many kinds of community that you can reach out to, whether it's something more traditional like a religious organization, or it's something like a political movement where you can feel like you're changing the world, or if it's something just fun with a few friends you see once every week or two where you get together and play a game. There are so many kinds of community you can join, All you have to do is go find some people with similar interests. And there are amazing resources to do so. In fact, I'm going to include a link to the website Meetup. It's where I've actually found quite a few communities that I really enjoyed, because we are like-minded people that just enjoy the same things. And you're not friends with everyone on there. Some people you don't click with, but it gives you that opportunity to meet people and build social networks that can help keep you up when you're feeling down. And if you're not finding the community for you, maybe you should build one. And that's a scary thought. How do you build a community? Well, the important part about building a community is just being active. Be vocal about what you care about. Reach out. Do something. Make something. I'm already finding people in the comments that are being incredibly kind and generous. People that are being uplifting and supportive. My hope with this channel is to build community. A community of vulnerability, a community of honesty, a community of caring, a community of decency, a community of common sense and decency. And that's what I'm trying to foster here. And I think the way you do that is just by putting yourself out there and engaging. Go make a group on Facebook. Go make one on Meetup. Make a YouTube channel, make a TikTok, make an Instagram. Start posting about history, start posting about politics, start posting about crochet. And you'd be surprised, you're gonna find people who are interested. You're gonna find a lot of people that aren't, but they're not the community you're looking for. The people you're looking for, they'll find you, but you have to put yourself out there. You have to be seen, and you have to be okay being seen. Because if you're not, you're going to miss out on these opportunities to build something that can not only help you, but could potentially uplift so many other people that might be going through the very same thing. So I highly encourage all of you, please, go find a community, build a community, or just maintain the one you have, maybe reinvigorate one that's been withering, because people want you to talk to them. They want you to care about them, and in so doing, they will care about you, because kindness begets kindness. Vulnerability begets vulnerability. You're not guaranteed these things, but if you put yourself out there enough, you're gonna find reciprocation out there in the world. But you have to be willing to be rejected. You have to be willing to be hurt. And here's the thing. There's no guarantees anything will get better. But there's a line in a song I really like. It says, we do these things not because they are guaranteed to make us feel better, but because failing to do them are guaranteed to make us feel worse. And I, for one, I know I feel worse when I'm isolated. I know I feel worse when I do not have community. And so that's what I'm doing now. I'm encouraging myself by encouraging you. Go find community. Go build community. Let's heal together. And along that journey, I also encourage you to seek out real professional help, because community alone can't solve everything. So I highly encourage all of you, please go seek professional help. Please use any resources I include below, as I'll be including some affordable healthcare options, especially for those of you on a budget. I'll also be including links to things like Meetup and other resources you can go use to start your own community. Thank you so much for your support, and I look forward to making more videos like this where we can work on bridging the gap between where we're at in life and where we want to be as individuals, as a community, as a larger society, and as the world. We can all bridge the gap together. So I'm excited to keep going, and thank you for watching. You have a wonderful day.